evening, everybody. Welcome to Pub Table Racers. The date today is September 14th. Boy, time's flying on this. My name is Tim Packman. Sitting next to me is the one, the only. He's back in action after testing in Daytona.
Warren Brissell.
How you doing, buddy? Welcome back.
It was hot.
It was hot
and wet.
In the car.
I wasn't even in the car.
We'll talk about that in a minute. First of all, welcome everybody. Hope you're having a good day. Even though my team lost and Warren's team lost, life goes on.
Who's Aaron Rodgers?
Ooh,
yeah, exactly.
Tonight's show, we will talk about race results, and then we have some news coming up. And our guest tonight is Charlie Brock. He is currently the car chief for Daniel Hemric at Joe Gibbs Racing and Roush Racing. He's been there. DEI, Ginn Racing. He's also the grandson of NASCAR Hall of Famer Red Farmer of the Alabama game. Pretty cool. Got some good stories from him. Maybe some cooking tips. We'll find out. But Warren, why do we have a bucket of beer in front of us?
We have a bucket of beer in front of us because we'd like to sit around, drink beer, talk about racing and racing news.
That's it. Welcome back.
Drink Miller High Life because of our hero Bobby Alice.
The Alabama game.
We were weaned on it and we never stopped.
Exactly. So we pay tribute, and plus it's good. Cheers to you.
You will leave a restaurant if they don't have Miller High Life.
Like they say, my dad always says, first one of the day. Anyhow. Wow, look at all these people chiming in. See, Karen says, hi, Tim and Warren. Steph, shoot, welcome, guys. My mom, good evening, gentlemen. Hey, our website guy. He's actually here for a live episode. Very good.
Probably went to get paid or something.
Annette Kramer. So we, Annette Kramer, Hole from Pennsylvania. Steph, shoot. Oh, here goes Steph. She's having the family hour. All right, let's launch off. Race results. Xfinity race. Noah Gragson goes two
in a row.
After all year long, struggling almost.
Yeah.
I ran into his crew chief Dave the other night, Thursday night at Langtree, and we were talking about his luck, and finally it turned around. And you're gonna start winning. Now's the time to win. You're in the chase, the playoffs, whatever you want to call it. So it's good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
He likes climbing the fence. He likes to win. Kid's got a personality. Cup news. Martin Truex Jr.
Yeah.
Wins that one.
JGR. Two in a row.
2 in a row. Joe Gibbs Racing.
They're showing their speed
at the right time.
That's
good.
That's when you do it, right?
Yeah, and you don't have to lead the most laps. You just have to lead the ones that count. But damn, what did you think of the race?
I mean, his car was fast all night. He had to start in the back.
Sure.
I thought the race was your typical Richmond race. It gets out of hand there.
Right.
You know, you can only end up with 10 cars on the lead lap, and
But you think with a short track,
it can be a little bit of a snoozer. I don't really count that place as a short track.
No, it just doesn't play like that anymore.
No, it races like a mile.
Well, speaking of short tracks, this week we go to Bristol.
We go to Bristol. We go to the last great Coliseum.
The last great Coliseum.
Actually, I'm soared from that place.
You do a sword? You have a sword? You have a sword, that's right. The trucks are Thursday night, 9 o'clock. I'm going to set my alarm to wake up for that race.
Thursday at 9.
9 p.m.
At 6:30.
Yeah. And ARC at 6:30.
I got to go to work on Friday, so it isn't like I can drink beer all night and watch the truck race.
I will watch it for you, okay? Yeah. You could.
I'm still going to watch the
race.
race.
But yeah. All right. We talked about that. News today came out. Sheldon Creed is the reigning Truck Series champion, currently leading the points. He's going from GMS Racing to RCR full-time in Xfinity next year. That's a good move for him, don't you think?
Sure, why not?
Why not? Xfinity? If you're going to go to RCR.
Their stuff's pretty good. That's the same as the college cars,
right?
You know, pretty much. So,
it's on all the same campus.
Good move.
Yeah, good for him. Jessica Nichols. Talk about the Bills game too, Tim. We did, Jessica. It was very brief this week. Very brief. Congrats to your team. Hurt to say.
That's right.
David Johnson says, hey guys. Who else chimed in? Justin, the website goes, I like Warren. Haha. He doesn't have the checkbook, okay? His wife does. All right. We all want to get paid, buddy. Let's see. Hey, friends. Okay, that's good. All right. Other news. That came out today. This one, I'm kind of... It was announced today that
I know where you're going with this.
The Clash.
The Clash.
The Clash. Instead of going to its traditional Daytona, is going all the way across the country to Los Angeles to race in the Coliseum.
In a track and field event. I heard you're going to have to see before you get to your car, you got to throw a javelin.
Yeah, and javelin?
And then you throw a javelin and then run and get in your car.
Go up the hill.
But how are you going to get everything in there?
I don't know.
Three coolest things about that place. They had 2 Olympics there, and Evel Knievel made a killer jump there, but he lived that one. So you looking at what's that? Oh, I don't get this one. Oh, we're gonna save money. Well, let's go all the way to L.A.
For the Clash.
for the Clash on the track. It's like Bowman Gray.
Right.
It's
And
gonna
then,
be
you know,
Bowman
it's,
Gray type
it's the
thing.
Clash, the Super Bowl, then the 500.
Right. Really? Oh,
Yeah.
they're gonna have 2 weeks in between. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see how that goes. Let's just leave it at that. All right.
I mean, it's the Clash isn't everybody either. How many people are in it? You know what I mean? So
So our website guy who's in California, not shy. Hey, shut up. We finally have a race out here in California. It's been 70 years since we had a race at the Auto Club. Well said, Justin. Got it.
I suppose by
That's good, Justin.
midnight, you know, if you still have Gavin Newsom too, I guess.
That's good. All right. So we talked about the news, and that's it. I'm done with that. We'll see how it goes. 6 minutes in.
Done with that.
We're done with
Bring
anything
him
else.
in. Bring him on.
Oh, wait. So,
Oh,
the test.
the test.
The Gen. Can we call it the Gen 7
We
now?
can call it the Gen 7.
So
Plus,
you went down.
I went
Okay,
down
Tom.
with Penske,
Mhm.
with Joey Logano. Everything went well,
Mhm.
as well as can be expected with a brand new car.
Got it.
I'm gonna say it like that.
Did you learn a lot?
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody learned a lot. There's some small problems. There's some bigger problems, but as far as the car is fine.
Mhm.
There's just some. They got some bugs to work out.
Sure.
It's a new car.
Right.
They got a little bit of work to do.
Sure. Which
And-
is expected.
and, you know, we'll probably end up helping them figure some of that out.
And I heard the drivers were a little hot.
Drivers
Literally
got
getting
hot.
cooked in there. They were making it was like an easy bake oven. They were making muffins and brownies
Yeah,
in there on their runs.
You know, we did try to run the exhaust through a frame rail about, was it 20 years ago
Yeah.
with the first COT, and that got too hot. Also,
2007.
Okay.
6.
06.
06,
Yeah.
07, yeah.
Our guest is ready to come on. You can
Yeah.
tell. He's chirping from the gallery over
I
there.
can tell we're not going to have any
No,
problems.
it's fine.
We
No
might
problem.
not get a word in.
I was warned.
That's okay.
I was warned about this.
That's
Is great.
okay.
That's fine.
That's-
All right. So one thing I thought was pretty cool is I finally got to see the rearview mirror.
The
Oh.
camera.
It's a camera hooked up.
There's a camera on the back of the roof
Yep.
that obviously points back at the field if you're leading,
Mm-hmm. If
if you're Joey.
okay. But if you're last, you're seeing a couple
If you're last, you're
seeing the hot dog.
Hey, my camera ain't working. There's nothing behind me.
Just a hot dog guy. And
No, it's working.
And the peanut man. That's all you got behind you. All right. I thought that
But
was
yeah,
cool.
and then it displays
Yeah.
in like a review mirror shape
Yeah.
for the driver.
All right. But I guess they needs work because the object and mirror are close.
Yeah,
They need to
there's a
change
little
the
bit
camera.
of depth perception
Yeah.
thing going on with that.
I thought that was kind of cool that they did that.
But it's very clear.
Yeah.
I thought it's new. It's neat. It's
I
cool.
watched a few of the in cars and the steering wheels weren't moving a whole lot. So we'll see. It's Daytona though.
Right.
All right. Well, so you're saying there's work to be done and it's doable.
It's got to be doable.
Exactly. That's what I thought. All right. With no further
And we're
ado.
built.
Sorry. He's got to introduce somebody. He's just going to introduce himself. I see how this is going. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, his name's Charlie Brock. He is currently the car chief of Daniel Hemric in the NASCAR Xfinity Series for Gibbs Racing. He's also worked at Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. He's been a tire changer, Roush Racing, Ginn Racing. We talked about that. A couple other places. And
Red Farmer Racing.
Wait a minute, we're getting there. And the cool
First,
thing,
when he started off with a
let me finish
Bobby
your
Allison
introduction.
Miller.
damn it. Let me finish your introduction.
yes.
Good God. Got that. He is also the grandson of NASCAR Hall of Famer and Alabama game member.
Can't even talk.
Red Farmer. Because you got me off there. Hey, would you like to? First of all, welcome aboard. Would you like to have a beer?
Yes.
All right.
Cheers to Bobby
Cheers.
Allison.
Here we go. Here's to the Alabama game.
Yeah, actually,
Gotta drink.
and you call him Uncle Bobby, so
Uncle
that's
Bobby.
pretty
I
special.
call him Uncle Bobby and Uncle Donnie.
Nice.
Look at that.
That's-
First day
that's
drinking.
pretty awesome.
All right. First of all, we start with the normal. How'd you get your start in racing? Pretty obvious.
Well, I was born.
Yeah, I was born
you're in
July
Tennessee.
19th in Nashville, Tennessee.
There we go. We got an hour. It's your time. All right,
So
you're from
no,
where?
I was born and raised in Brentwood, Tennessee,
Okay.
actually. I tell people I'm from Alabama just because that I've lived in Alabama from the time I was probably 5 years old every summer till I graduated high school in 91 working on my grandfather's race cars.
Okay.
Every spring break, Christmas, Thanksgiving, anytime we had time off, I would go to Alabama and work on my grandpa's race cars. And, you know, it was something I loved, something I enjoyed from the time I could never remember. I can remember taking my grandpa coffee out to his motor shop where he built his own motors.
Right, and we're talking Red Farm. We're talking
Yeah.
like the Red Farm.
Where he started his
Yeah.
cup shop. It
Mhm.
was a little 2-stall garage.
Right.
That's where he built his motors
Yeah.
at. And then he had a 5-stall garage behind it where he built his cars at. And I can remember just being a little shit, fucking taking his coffee out to it
Right.
while he built motors at night. That's some of the youngest memories I have.
So at what point, and I asked this because at what point did you realize he was like Red Farmer, this big time racing guy? I mean, at some point
But
they
it
were going,
never really sink in.
all these people like Grandpa a lot.
To me, I never have. He's my grandfather.
Got it.
He was my boss.
Mm.
And I don't know if anybody's ever worked with their family. That's the hardest thing to do is work for your family.
It is.
Yeah.
I graduated high school in 1991, and I went to work full time for Davey Allison Racing Enterprises
Oh, very good.
in June of '91.
Hmm.
And who was my boss?
Mm.
My grandfather.
Okay.
I lived with my grandfather and grandmother.
Yeah.
Paid rent.
Living with him, paid rent. Got
That's
it.
how I started full time.
Had to get up with
And-
Grandpa every day and start. That was how your day started.
We got up, we ate breakfast,
Yeah.
we went to work. We got off work at 4 o'clock. It might have been 4 or 5. I can't remember. It's been a long time ago. We would go home. My grandmother would have dinner cooked. We would eat dinner, watch the news, and we'd go out to the race shop, work on the dirt cars till 10, 11 o'clock at night until MASH came on.
MASH.
When MASH came on, work had stopped. You went in the house, you had dessert that grandma made, and you sit there and watch MASH,
Right.
and you went to bed and you did it the next
The
day.
next day, and you loved it.
That's all I knew.
That's all you knew.
That's pretty
Racing.
awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
So, what was it like when Red won? Which he did a lot.
So I had opportunities to drive. He always tried to get me to drive the race cars,
Mhm.
this, that, and other. And I'm like, you know what? I spend more time fixing your wreck tore up shit. I can imagine if I tried to drive, what would happen.
Right.
There's not enough hours in the day.
You miss MASH and dessert.
Yeah, I miss everything. So no, I enjoy working on the race cars. I always have, and I enjoyed working on them, seeing him go out and win, knowing that I worked on and prepared the cars,
Yep.
and we won races.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I drove one time at Talladega Short Track. He wasn't able to be there that weekend. Our good friend Jerry Goodwin helped me and my father out on the car, and I ended up crashing the car, wrecking it, and that was my driving career.
That was it.
done.
I'm good.
I was done.
One and done.
No,
And
I'm
then you
done.
had to fix it too, probably. Right?
No, I left it. My cousin ended up running it the next year. He ended up getting it, taking it, and running it. He took over. He still drives. He runs crate late models, Liberdette. He
Okay.
runs crate late models at Talladega
Perfect.
and around Alabama.
So, I'm sure you're. So you said Davey Allison Racing. You're around Davey Allison. What was he like?
He's like my brother.
Yeah.
He was a great guy. He was instrumental in my life. His children, Liz, Robbie, and Krista.
Mhm.
I mean, it was like one big family. We were all one big family. And Papa was like a dad to Davey,
Mhm.
because Bobby was always gone,
Right.
Yeah.
cup
Yeah.
racing when Davey was growing up. So Davey leaned on Papa a lot, through his late model career, and so did Clifford
Mm-hmm.
and Neil Bonnet.
Right.
So it's.
Did you ever travel up to Wisconsin with Davey to do our short tracks?
No, I never did. That was.
I was going to say we might have ran across each other, but
Yeah.
never
No.
knew it. You know what I mean?
Well, Papa drove some of Bobby's, ASA cars through Dillon.
Yeah.
Those Dillon cars he had, but we ran mostly in the South, Montgomery, Birmingham, Pensacola, and stuff like that. But
Okay. Angela Pointer says, "Get ready to hit the bleep button." Friend of you?
yeah, that's my next door neighbor. Yeah, she's
Yeah, okay.
We're all right.
We're all good. We're good,
okay.
Angela. We're
We
gonna be
gave
okay.
him, we gave him the speech of what words not
Yeah,
to
we're
say.
Yeah,
not gonna
as
do
long
that.
as no F-bombs.
Yeah,
we're all
yeah,
good.
that's
We're
it.
good.
Or
We're
compound
good.
words.
Yeah, we're R-rated here, so.
PG-17.
Yeah.
Annette Hoffman
And
Kramer
Susan.
says he's still boss. I guess he's talking about your grandfather.
Oh yes,
Still
yeah,
boss, right.
yeah. That's a good friend of mine, Annette Hoffner from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Her and her brother,
Mhm.
they race up in Pennsylvania, and Papa actually drove for them years ago, and they got hooked up with us, and they come down and they run at Talladega, and it's
So you're like around a lot of greatness. I mean, you're talking Bobby, Donnie Allison, the Allison family,
Davey.
the whole. I mean,
Clifford.
you were just right there in the middle of it, and not to be funny, but to you was probably like no big deal because you're all family.
yeah, it's like Gary Blue, Rat Lane,
Yeah.
Blue, yeah.
It's like we'd go to Nashville and run the All American 400. You had Bob Seneker, Jody Ridley, all those guys. I remember going to to All-American 400 with my grandpa, and sitting on the back stretch pulling for Ted Musgrave because it was number 97.
Just because of the numbers.
Because of the number.
It made total sense.
Because
Yeah.
what a lot of people, my grandpa was actually from Nashville, Tennessee. He was born in Nashville, Tennessee,
Right.
2 miles from the racetrack on Wedgwood Avenue. The road goes right through where his house was at. So Papa was actually from Nashville, Tennessee,
Got it.
and then moved to Miami when he was in his teenage years. But
And
yeah,
then they all ended up. The Allisons left Miami and they came up to
they came to
Alabama.
Newtown.
Right.
Yes.
Perfect. Says Annette says Knights Red won. Charlie might not remember the next morning after the story's read, and Charlie told me. Fair enough. You don't have to go into those.
Yeah, Philpott. Yeah.
Philpott in the knuckles. So when did your move when you finally came to the NASCAR side? Where did that all?
After Davey passed away, and the whole deal with Papa and Davey and the helicopter
Right.
deal and everything, you know, I don't like talking about
Speak up a
that.
little bit.
No, you don't have to.
No stuff.
So, you know, this guy by the name of Ron Zook bought the team. He was out of, I think it was Orlando, Florida. And we had Derek, actually before that, I'm getting old, so I got CRS.
Can't
Tim
remember
Steele.
stuff.
Tim
Steele.
Steele.
There's a name, yeah.
Actually drove a couple races for us before Ron Zook bought the team. And then we had Derek Cope drove for us.
Okay.
And was that the ARCA? Was that an ARCA team already?
No, it was still our Bush team with Davey.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
So we had the Ron Zook bought it, and Derek Cope drove. We had
So,
Ernie Elliott 9 to 1
Real
T8s.
quick, how old are you at this point? What are you maybe?
I was 21,
21.
21.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're bush racing.
Yeah.
Full time bush racing.
I started full time in '91 when I graduated high school.
Okay, so when you're 17 or 18.
Yes, 17. Yeah. So we had Derek Cope. We first race with Derek Cope, we ran I think 5th at Bristol.
Not bad.
That was the race that Mark Bart pulled in on the white flag lap.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
what you thought it was
So,
over.
yeah.
Oops.
So that was our first race with Derek Cope. With
Oh, it was
with
over
this
for him.
race. Yeah, it was over. Yeah. He was done. Yeah, he didn't know it, but it was done. Yeah.
What? Huh?
So
Yeah.
we had Derek, and then we went to New Hampshire and actually won the Chevy New England Dealers 250 in a Ford Thunderbird with Derek Cope. That was my first actually Bush win.
Okay.
We actually never won a race with Davey. We sat on a couple poles and had some good runs, but
What was it like your first one? What do you remember about it?
I
That's
can
his
remember.
first bush win.
First Bush one. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I can still remember we were right across the racetrack from the flag stand.
Mhm.
Gene Simmons was an old Bush official. You probably
I know.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I
He
know.
was the
I know
flagman.
who you mean.
Okay.
I'll never forget when he was dropping that checkered flag, looking over at us, just grinning from ear to ear. You know,
Like,
because it was like we went through.
'cause you got one.
We went through so much.
Yeah.
And everything we've been through, and the whole garage and everybody, you know, congratulating us. And,
Yeah.
You know, it was a pretty cool deal.
David Weiss says, when are you going to go back to changing tires? You were the heat.
He was my tire carrier.
Okay.
He carried tires for me. I don't know.
One
probably
lug nut only.
7, 8 years, I guess.
Yeah.
You know. So actually, I changed tires this year at
Bristol.
Road America.
Oh.
Really?
We had the one standalone Xfinity. No, was it Road America this year? No, it was Mid Ohio
Okay.
this year and Road America last year. Actually, because the road crews had to pit the cars because
Yep.
they didn't have pit crews.
Right.
So, being I'm 48 years old, a little heavier than I used to be, I still busted off 13-second pit stops. So
It's not
the pattern with the gun
Uh-huh. Doesn't
doesn't
still
change.
perfect.
Yeah.
But it's the point A to point B that's a little bit slower
Okay.
Right.
as you put on age and pounds.
Okay.
And my wife contributes to.
Well, wait, you can't blame her. She can put it down, but you got your elbow.
Yeah,
has to-
well, and a lot of people think it's because of all the food I eat, all the cooking I do. So
You do a lot of
We're
cooking.
going to talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
So the tire changing, where did that start? Where did that? Ray Suarez says Charlie Brock, the legend, he calls him.
Joe Whereas he was
Oh, yeah.
in security.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great guy.
We know
Great
Ray.
guy.
Him and I both know Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome
Great
guy.
He's a good
Great
guy.
guy.
I
Yeah.
seen him in the parking lot today by us. I don't know what he was doing.
So
there,
I changed tires, you know, when I was a kid, when, you know, Papa's dirt stuff, you know, and then when, with Davey, I carried tires on Davey's deal, and then I started changing tires. When I moved to North Carolina in 95, went to work at Stavola Brothers, I started changing tires.
And who's the
Yeah.
driver then?
Hut Strickland.
Okay.
Pizza Hut, Strickland, and Spaghetti. We call
What'd you call them?
Spaghetti Brothers.
What'd you call
No,
them?
it was
Pizza Hut,
That's
Strickland.
yeah, it was it's the Stavola
You
Brothers
said
in
it so
Circuit
fast.
City.
I go, you just said it
Yeah.
how do you say it?
Circuit City car.
Yeah.
Wow, there you
Yeah.
go. They're not even business.
Bill
anymore.
Engel, and
Yep.
Bill Engel, crew
See
chief,
him
and
around
Richard Broom. Richard Broom was my first Cup crew chief. Boy, he was a piece of work. He was a good guy. Taught me a lot.
So you're at a young age. You're learning all this, and there was no schools back then. You just kind of learned on the job. Is that fair to say? That pit practice?
Yeah,
and all
there
that?
was pit practice.
That's what I
What the
thought.
hell
Yeah,
was
yeah,
that?
that's what I thought. Thank you. I just want to make sure
What the hell was pit practice?
that was being sarcastic.
And engineers, what was an engineer?
Yeah, that's
for you.
They ran Norfolk Southern up down the railroad tracks.
Woo, woo, that's
Yeah.
great.
You worked on the cars all week.
Yep.
You went to the racetrack, worked on them all weekend,
Right.
and you changed tires on Sunday.
Right.
You didn't get no money for doing that.
No,
That
it was all rolled in.
That's your
Pit
job.
practice? What was that? You didn't do that.
What do you
That's all you can do to get 2 cars to the racetrack.
We got 8 stops this week. One more practice to
Right.
be right? Yeah.
You didn't drink all that muscle milk
No,
and
no,
you know
muscle
Joe
all
milk.
Piet.
that fancy.
You know Joe Piet.
Yeah.
We hired him from Dave Marcus, the Stavola Brothers. He came from Dave Marcus, so he's like back in the roots like I am. You know,
Right.
digging dirt just to make ends meet.
Oh, wait a minute.
We
Wait a minute. Go ahead. Go
We
ahead.
both changed tires together
Got it.
at Stavolas.
Okay. Stavola, and that's a legendary name.
Yeah.
So
Billy and Mickey Stavola.
you've been through the history. I mean, it's just to sit here and talk to you. It's like you're like an encyclopedia of all this experience you have.
What year was that?
Yeah, I
I
can-
Stavola Brothers?
I was at Stavola Brothers 96, 97, and
I think I built your pit equipment.
98 is when we lost Circuit City in the middle of the year. We put Buckshot Jones in the
Yeah.
car.
Buckshot. there you go.
And our last race was Stavola Brothers, and my wife's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, he can remember all that stuff. He can't remember what year we got fucking married." But anyway, pardon my French, I said the F word. So at the end of the year, the last race of the year, we had Morgan Shepherd driving a car at Atlanta.
Right?
Jeff Gordon was gonna win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
The race had to be over by midnight because he had to go to London or somewhere the next day.
Right.
So we come in, we put on 2 tires, come out and lead. We're leading the race. We're gonna win Atlanta
Right?
because we know it's got to end because Jeff Gordon's got to go
Yeah.
overseas for his brand
Whatever it
commitments.
was,
You
yeah.
know, yeah. We're leading the race, and so and behold, we got turned in a left rear by Jeff Gordon.
Oh, okay. Get out of the way.
Yep. He won the race, and me and Joe Piet drove the race car back on a rollback from Atlanta all the way back to Charlotte, North Carolina. That was the last race of Stavola Brothers race.
I don't know. Everyone had to see what you got. That's
Oh, yeah.
perfect.
There was still shit coming off of it when we pulled into Harrisburg
Don't-
off of Highway 49.
Don't hit any bumps,
Yeah.
right? Oh, what was that? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
By the way, you poked the bear. Abby, your lovely wife, says, I didn't put the pounds on you. You're the cook of the house.
That's right. I am. And I'm proud of it.
That's all right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's speed up. So you go through the Dale Incorporated. What'd you do there?
Actually, I was with the MB2
Yeah.
from 2001 till 2006, 7.
Till they
It turned
became
into
Ginn.
Ginn.
Yeah.
Turned into the Ginn deal. And I was car chief in Martin.
That'd
Car
be
chief
cool.
in setting up cars and changing tires.
So this was as back in the day. So you were a car chief, setup,
and changing tires.
You would not see that today anywhere.
No.
No.
And so I did that, and we almost won our first race out with Martin and Daytona. It's probably the
I remember
best
that.
and saddest race of my career when
Right. Harvick.
the caution with Kevin
Yeah.
Harvick.
Yeah,
Yes,
right
that
there when
was
he comes out.
that
comes
was
around.
that was the hardest pill to swallow when I walked out of that garage and seen the 01 car second. You know, something you work for all your life. You know, and then
Yeah.
I'd seen. I went there. My grandfather won the Permatex 300 in I think 1974 in Daytona.
Mhm.
And you know, it's like one place I wanted to win at, and it was like I came so close. I was able to win there later in
Good.
2013 with Matt Kenseth in the
Yep.
July race
Good.
in the Xfinity Series. But
It's a cool place to win.
yes, it is.
Period. Yeah.
Should we show them our rings now, or did
No.
kind of mean?
I've got some. I've got a couple
I'm
rings.
just kidding.
you know.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Wait, my story, Daytona 500 was? We can show it. No.
Yeah.
He's got a lot more than I do.
yeah.
Okay, so our website guy says, I'm 100% pinning that comment that you just made there. Dan Lynch.
Dan Lynch. Yeah, I
here we
gave him
go.
his first job in
2007.
Yeah.
On
All-Star
set-
Bell at Grace. Yeah. That's when 2007 is when we had the bad rains at Michigan.
Oh, yeah,
They
everyone
called
was
it race on
days.
Sunday. Yeah, they
Yeah.
called it Monday.
Right.
And then it racing on Tuesday.
Guys were going to
Yeah.
Target and Walmart getting
Yeah,
clothing. the last
exactly.
night.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
a rough deal.
Yep.
Race
Uh,
Bristol next week.
I
He,
think I
he
was
says,
there.
you're a great car chief, better drinker. That's Dan Lynch.
Better than me, Lynch?
Yeah,
Or we
be careful
about,
there.
we
Yeah.
about running that
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, so they pinned the comment from Abby there. So you're going through that transition. Now, when you're a car chief, like let's go back a few years. What were your duties then, and now as a car chief now, compared to what would you say the difference is?
Back then, more the car chief, you were still basically a glorified mechanic.
Mhm.
You still did, I
You
can't
do everything, right?
Today, I still do everything, but back
Right.
then, everybody had to do everything.
Mhm.
There wasn't any specific job.
Right.
In other words, there wasn't just
Everybody was roopers.
there wasn't a tire guy, there wasn't an interior guy,
Took you
there wasn't a
20
front and a
minutes
rear
to-
mechanic.
Right.
Everybody did everything together.
Did you have the checklist back then that you taped to the
Oh
car?
yeah,
for
you
everybody?
taped them on the left rear quarter panel of the car,
Right.
so after, yeah. And back then, like on Sunday mornings when you got to the racetrack and you were still working on a checklist, and Warren, you know the pit crew when they got there, they would help you if they were shop guys. They would come help you
Mhm.
if it was a rear end guy that
Yeah.
was a tire carrier or whatnot. He would come help you
Yeah.
finish your checklist for
Right.
you.
Or chase lug nuts, or
Do whatever.
change
Right.
your gas heads,
Yeah.
or
They would come work on the car before
Right.
they went set up
Yep.
that road. That was
And-
just part of the deal.
And now, compared to what a car chief does, and the pit crew, they're kind of
It's
Well,
it's
separate?
totally separate.
Yeah.
The pit crew is solely a pit crew.
So I'll say real
You know.
quick, I was at first with DEI, I was what you call just a Sunday guy, where I only went on Sunday, and my duties on Sunday were not even to help set up the pit box. The guys who actually pitted the car did that.
Right.
I would go right to the car, and I would help. I was on the one. I would help Bono. I would go report to the car chief and help Bono and see what he needed.
Right.
You know, hey Warren, tape the ducts, do this, do that. You know, he had a list for me to do. So, and now there's none of that. Those guys aren't mechanics at all.
And with the schedule now, stuff
Right.
I can't see it anyway. Even before, the last 5-6 years, they don't. Excuse me, the pit crew, they're on pit road.
Right.
It's
They're
a-
athletes.
that's
They're
their-
athletes.
They're athletes.
They're athletes.
don't get them going. Do not get them
They're,
going.
I changed tires for over 16, 17 years, and it's
Yeah.
like, I'm not an athlete. I never
Oh
worked
yeah,
out.
you are.
I didn't like working out. And
Right.
my philosophy was I was car chief and setting the cars up. And Lance Munsgard was our pit coach through MB2 and Ginn. And you're like, you're not going to pit practice. Well, you know what? If I don't get this car set up,
We're not going to need to practice.
Yeah,
we're not going to need to do pit stops. We're not going to be at the racetrack. You got to come in here, make yourself. So I'd go in there and get on a treadmill and I'd walk around like a Oompa Loompa for a couple minutes.
You like put a beer on a
put
stick
beer
in front of you.
You go out there and say, all right, I'm going back to work. It was just, it's a total different deal.
It
It's
is a
it's
different
all-
deal.
I mean, when I started doing pit stops, we were doing 22-second pit stops. When I quit full time in 2010, I think we were doing 12.5-second pit stops.
Right.
So I went through the whole evolution.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And then, I did part time for Nemechek for a couple of years, and I got out of it, and then doing it, the last 2 years, it was kind of fun. It's like there was, oh God, you're going to change. It's like riding a bicycle.
Yeah.
You know.
But you could do it still.
Yeah.
Kramer says, what would be your favorite racing memory so far in your life?
Nice. Good question.
Yes, very good question. I've thought about that a lot because I figured that question was going to come up. I had 1988 when Papa won the ARC race at Talladega and Davey Allison was the crew chief.
Right?
That was pretty, and that's one of the pictures.
That just gave me a little bit of goosebumps
Wow, that's-
right
that
there.
was-
Because I never knew Davey was a crew
Yeah,
chief, but
yeah,
yeah.
He
sure.
went. Papa was working for Davey we were on the Xfinity
Yeah.
deal, and Davey actually crew chief Papa, and Papa won the race. That's probably that's a.
And this is
great-
'88, so you were
88.
still in high school,
Yes,
right?
yes, I was still in high school.
You were on your summer trip down to
Exactly,
To
from Alabama.
All right, nice.
That,
That's awesome.
I remember 1984 when Papa won the ARC race at Talladega. They started the race, and
Okay, when he says pop, he's talking Red Farm.
Red Farmer. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah. You
Well,
told me
people-
that before the show.
I
It's
know,
like,
that's
yeah,
okay. I also told you not to
just-
swear,
yeah.
but
Most
thanks.
of
Yeah.
these people
It's
know.
like, it's like, hey,
Yeah.
don't do, I'm just talking.
So
Tire changes.
it was '84. They started the race. He was driving for Jerry Corbin. He owned I think he was out of West Virginia. They called it the Orange Punk in number 97. And a couple laps into the race, Paul goes in turn 3, cuts the tire down and hits the outside wall. This is 4 restrictor plates. And it comes down pit road, and the pit crew hadn't even got set up. So the guys had to go to another pit stall to pit the car.
Well,
Papa lost 2 laps under green.
yeah.
Came back out.
Okay.
Okay.
Unlapped himself 2 laps, and then lapped the field and won the race.
That's a driver.
That was horsepower.
That's a driver. Isn't it?
That's a driver and horsepower. back
His
then.
horsepower, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, so David Weiss says, Charlie's such a good cook. He skinned and cooked a roadkill deer at the shop for
yeah, I
a
did that.
Christmas party. I think Pete Wright hit it with his car. Charlie went and got it out of the ditch. Damn good times. Are you kidding me?
So yeah, so we had. Yeah, this is the truth.
Didn't sit that long then,
the
huh?
Pete Wright hitting the deer is not exactly correct,
Okay.
but so yes.
Where'd you get this from? Over there. Route
So yeah.
Killed it.
So
I killed it right from Bumper.
so funny story. Ray
Knocked the
Abraham's
splitter off this thing.
Ray Abraham's dad, Pops.
Yep.
Yeah.
He worked for us in MB2. He made coffee. He handed out paychecks.
Okay.
He
Very important.
collected
stuff.
sheet metal, sold lug nuts.
Right.
So all year when he sold sheet metal lug nuts, he would save up the money for our Christmas party at the end of the year.
Very important.
Because you didn't have a whole, teams weren't big back then.
Right,
You didn't have a whole lot
yeah.
of money. So we go up here to Mooresville Meat, over here the seafood restaurant used to be, and he would buy steaks. Me and him would go up there. We get steaks, hamburgers, hot dogs, and we'd cook them out. And now the sponsors and stuff come in. Well, this particular year, one of the guys went to Bass Pro Shops. Was coming back across the bridge from Concord Mills to come into Roush.
Okay,
too,
yeah.
Right.
and saw somebody hit a deer. I was like, man, somebody just hit a deer. I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, yeah, somebody hit a deer. I was like, hey, let's go check it out. So we get in the truck and we go down there. And, yep, we pick up this doe.
Was it still warm?
Huh?
Still warm, right?
Yeah. It was like, yeah. It might have still had a pulse actually. So we load this deer in the back of the
Yeah,
truck.
okay.
We bring it back to the MB2 shop, and it later become Petty. So anybody who worked at Petty
Right.
Motorsports knows
Yeah.
the concrete room out back they had to live where we washed the cars. So
Not on this day.
we go get us a piece of square tube. We run it through the back legs. We put it on the lift. We raise this doe up. So everybody in the shops wanted to come out and see this. So at the time we had Johnny Benson and
Johnny's been on. He doesn't
Ken-
know this story. But
Ken
yeah,
Schrader driving.
yeah, got it.
So of course I ain't got no hunting knife. We got some X-Acto slip knives.
Right,
out of the
yeah,
paint
razor
shop.
blades.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I made a slice down the center. Turned around, there ain't but 3 people left.
Everybody took off.
Everybody took off.
When you got it.
When I gutted
I'd
it.
have been leading him out of there.
Yeah.
Just so you know, should have been the first one out.
I got this deer,
Yeah.
and
Our
Till the
viewership
truck
just dropped off too.
I told the truck driver, Johnny Rocker,
Yeah.
I said, you go get us 4 or 5 big aluminum pans and all the Italian dressing you can find in Concord. He's like, what? I said, just do it. So we cut the hindquarters and front hams off of it.
Yeah, you got to marinate a little bit.
So we put it in the pans, we marinated them, covered them up, and left them. Well, the next morning we come in and we were going to have a cookout for the team.
Sure.
Well, there's Army generals coming in, everybody from the Army and this that, and
Right.
the other. So we're 4 o'clock in the morning. We're starting to cook, and we get all this food cooked, and everybody in the shop's like, "We're not eating this deer." Back up, no broken bones on this doe.
Okay.
She had one little bruise on one rib, about the
Okay,
size of a
alright,
quarter.
okay.
So there was no harm done.
Sure.
So the
Take a
Army
slit
generals,
throat.
Go ahead.
the Army generals, they come in like three-star general, or 3-star.
Because you were sponsored by the Army car. Yeah.
Yeah. They come in, they're eating this, and they're like, "Man, this is good stuff." So everybody in the back, Jay Fry, who's their teammate, he's back there chuckling, It's
Yeah.
like this, that. So we got done, and I was like, I got to tell these guys, I told them, I said, "Hey, this deer we ate, we got hit yesterday over there. I said, hey, this is good stuff."
Yeah.
Well,
You know,
they
that's-
MREs. They were
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
They're
Yeah.
actually like, this is
It was
good.
like
yeah.
it was a joke forever.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we ate roadkill. So,
Right. One of your favorite wins of all time?
that's a tough one.
Championship?
You got a Xfinity or Cup championship win?
No Cup championship. I got an Xfinity championship with Chris Buescher.
Okay, there you go.
That was
Congrats.
probably overall. We led the points most of the year. That was the last year of the old point system.
Okay.
Well, then with the new point system, I think we won 3 races that year, and that was
The last time Chris Buescher won? No, I'm serious.
no. Hey, don't mess with him. He's my buddy. He's my buddy.
No, he is a
I'm
good
just
kid.
kidding. He's a great
Yeah.
kid.
I mean, we all have these
him and
moments in
C.
our
Bill
career.
are my 2 top
Christopher
drivers
Bell?
ever. Yes.
What made him your favorite drivers? What about-
Personality,
Yeah.
Got it?
likability.
Very genuine.
genuine, true racers. They're not snobs. They're not stuck up. I
Right.
call both of them right now on the phone. They'll answer the phone. They'll talk to me.
Right?
Not because I'm,
Yeah, because
untalkable, but
Yeah, I get
no, they're great people. They are great human beings.
so they're out for the trophies, not the checks.
Yes.
Safe to say?
Yes.
Got it.
Seabell is probably, I would say, between Mark Martin and Seabell.
Christopher Bell,
Yeah, Christopher
Yeah.
are probably the two most talented drivers I've ever worked
Yeah.
with.
Okay.
Nothing against Kyle. I work with Kyle, but I don't. It's a different.
It's a different talent.
Monica Rogers says, "Who needs car stories? This deer story is so much better." We don't recommend you try this at home, folks. This story this took place a long time ago.
Yes.
Just like Tim and Warren, great people. Hey, Tom, where you been? Thanks for chiming in. Jeez, number one fan out of New Jersey.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, we dubbed him the number one fan. He actually drove down to come down to the
meet
show,
us
do a show with
and
us.
hang out with
That's
us.
cool.
Yeah.
That's a true fan. What was I forgot. You distracted me, Tom. Where was I going with the whole thing? So you've been in the sport in a long time. What are some of the changes you like and some that you don't like? Without throwing anybody in the bus.
Yeah.
I mean, I have mine. He has his. What are yours? You've lived it like since you were in
For
high
a
school.
long time.
Long time.
I think the COVID's killed the sport.
Think so?
It's hurt
It's
us.
changed us.
Right?
With the
In
no
what
practice,
respect?
no
No
practice.
qualifying. Yeah.
So I've been on the road 32 years. You take somebody last year who's been on the road 31 years, traveling Thursday through Sunday or Friday through Sunday, that has a routine,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all they know.
Yeah.
Then we go to Atlanta last year, get off an airplane, and they tell us our world's ended
Yeah.
to go home.
I drove down, walked in the hotel, found out, drove back. But
And you don't know what's going to happen next. And it's like, what do you do?
Yeah. And now all these one-day shows, right?
Yeah.
Do you think the lack of practice and qualifying has killed some of the anticipation leading up to it? Because fans are like, oh, who won practice? And who's on the pole?
I miss happy hour. I really do.
Yeah. We're talking
Yeah.
the one on the track, the last practice.
Yes.
Got it. That one too.
Yeah, I think it does for the fan side of it, especially. Being able to come in and bring a town
Mhm.
money in for the weekend, as far as being able to be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to go through practice, sell hot dogs, hamburgers, cold beer,
Yep.
watch practice, qualifying, Xfinity race, happy hour, cup
Yeah,
race.
right.
Now you're taking these fans that spend all this money and they're gonna come here to watch
One
race,
one or
one
two
race.
days. Yeah.
It's
That's
like, so, and you're old enough that Tim knows it, you're old enough. The circus is in town, right? That's what we
I
say.
call it the asphalt circus.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it. When it came here, the circus is in town. When we go to Bristol, the circus is in town, and that brings a lot of revenue to these
Oh,
to
a
these
lot of
smaller-
excitement
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, and I do think you get more fans because of it, and they have a whole weekend. Most of our fans turn this into an experience, not
They turn it into a vacation.
a
Sure it is,
vacation.
yeah.
To the only
Absolutely.
person it's a vacation. To us,
Yeah.
it's work.
Yeah.
To them, they look forward, like for Bristol. You
Yeah.
take an average family that
Perfect.
wants to go to Bristol 2 times a year. That's what they look forward to.
Yeah,
The excitement, the camping, the party,
Yeah.
the campfires.
Well, look, they sit on the
The-
side of the road
Yes.
across
Wait
the
for the
street.
wait for the
No,
haulers to come in.
Yeah,
when they
just
do
to
come,
watch.
They
Yeah.
sit there and watch people drive
Yeah,
by.
exactly.
It's an event, so that they're building up to it, the Friday night, the Saturday night, and then whatever day, Friday, Saturday, so whatever.
Yeah.
But it builds up to it, and you make friends and you meet them, and you build these relationships, and even us as people that work in the sport, we would go and see these same fans, like, oh, you guys, and you would meet up with them again. And
Yeah.
it was kind of like a reunion every weekend with all these people.
yeah.
Now it's just like get in for the day, get in, get out. I see the good part, I see the bad, and I know the cost and everything. But as far as what you just said, I never really thought of that like that.
Well, I just thought of something. When was the last time they had a trucker parade? Think of all
Truck
these
parade.
little,
Darlington.
yeah,
Bristol.
Darlington,
Bristol,
Vegas.
Vegas, yep, huge.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. And they
that's
trucks
what the fans they thrive off of that
Yeah.
stuff, and that's what feeds them to go to the racetrack, to spend the money, to buy the souvenirs,
Right.
to go to sit in the stands and to support everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
And you sit in the same seats and the people around you.
Exactly,
And,
and
you
you get like I said, you get a bond.
Yeah.
You get a bond with a
Yeah.
group of people. You meet more people. It's been tough on sport.
Okay. So
I
what's one of
agree.
the things I never thought of it the way you just put it, but yeah,
Yeah.
I guess wow. Okay. So here I'm thinking it's been good because it's saving teams a lot of money, but on the other end, maybe it's not saving, it's hurting more than it's helping.
I mean, it's probably helping TV, but that's
it's
it.
helping
Yeah,
TV
maybe.
and teams, but the fan side of it, I think, is
What's something you like that's changed?
Same thing. Only have to go to work one day. Right? Spend more time at home.
being able to fly out in the morning,
Yeah.
race, and come
Right.
home the same day.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Well,
And it's kind of I don't know, it's
You spend more time cooking on that flat top grill then.
so
exactly. I spend more time with my dogs, my animals, but still, it's like taking a fish out of water.
all right, so let's talk about Abby, your wife now. She works in the sport,
Yes,
and she's been in the sport for a long time.
yes.
And how'd you meet her?
I met her through when I worked at Red Bull.
Okay. And then now she works for NASCAR itself and credentials.
Yeah, she works.
So is she gone longer than you are now?
Yes.
Or- so it's a reverse. Or we
It's
both
a,
go
yeah,
at the
it's a
same time?
reversal. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm the wife of the house,
Yeah.
Got it.
and I tell everybody that.
Yeah.
House husband.
The house husband.
How's that?
Yeah,
All right.
and I enjoy it.
Does she give you a list of things to do when you go?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
I'm just curious.
No, I've got. I do. She'll tell you. She'll chime up here in a minute.
Yep.
I do my own list.
Yeah.
Sunday morning, I do a milk run. I call it.
Okay.
I go to my 3 grocery stores. I buy groceries for the week,
Mm-hmm.
food for the animals. When
Huh.
she gets home, the dishes are done, the sheets are changed, the house is vacuumed, and
Right.
ready for her to come home.
You have her paper and her beer ready for her?
Yeah, it's like because
Right.
she's gone usually Wednesday through
Yeah.
Sunday.
She does.
I'm usually gone Saturday to Saturday night.
So she does credentials, right? She's
Yes.
in charge of credentials.
So she has to go in a day earlier.
Isn't that great? Don't you get a little stir crazy? I've gotten a little more, because I like to cook and stuff too, and I've gotten a little more stir crazy with stuff by not traveling. You know what I mean? By not being gone. You know, it's like, all right, well, what am I going to do here today? Well, and then you come up with something. Well, I'm gonna make a rack of lamb or something. You know what I mean?
No,
It's
I
mean, I don't need. I'm
I
gonna make a rib roast
Right,
or
sure.
something.
If I went racing right now, I'd probably have a. Look, there's my wife right there. He's an
What'd you
amazing husband.
He's an amazing, incredible husband.
Yeah.
Well, of course he is, Abby, after everything we just heard. There's some guys are going to call up and say, hey, you want to go out sometime?
No, I enjoy cooking. I love cooking.
All right, where did that start? How did that all begin?
It started back when I was in school.
Okay.
My mother and father, we grew up on 80 acres back in Tennessee, and we lived on a road that I knew at 5 o'clock they were going to turn down the driveway to come home.
Okay.
And there was always a fresh pot of tea made for them, and my mom would leave a grocery or a dinner menu, and I learned from her how to cook. And I would have dinner ready when they got home, and a fresh pot of tea, and my dad a cold Budweiser when he walked in the
Really?
door. And I always opened that Budweiser up when he walked in the door, and I always got the first swallow. So my dad said, "Son, the first swallow of the beer is the best swallow ever."
And you were the happiest 12-year-old ever.
Yeah, but that's where I started cooking.
Yeah.
You know,
All right.
I
Okay.
enjoy cooking. It's like my pressure relief,
Yeah.
my getaway. I love cooking. I cook for all my neighbors in the neighborhood.
So are we talking like grill items? Are we talking like smoking things? Are
He
we
does a
talking
little bit of everything.
like
when I-
pasta dishes?
I do everything but baking. I don't.
So, okay, that was my next one. Do you make
Yeah.
butterscotch brownies?
No, I'm not
Okay.
big on. I'm not big on baking. As
Right.
far as everything else cooking, I have a smoker. I have a Blackstone. I
Those
have
come
a
in men's.
smoker grill. A charcoal grill. I enjoy cooking everything.
Oh, good. I mean, but you
Meat.
said
Meat.
Yeah, meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meat,
Uh,
vegetables.
A little stir fry thing. I think.
Abby
I've
says
seen
she
you
couldn't do this without him. Abby says, stop. It took him 3 years to cook ribs.
Yeah, I didn't want to really have to. All right, damn it. So
Oh, do tell.
when we
This
first
one gets
started
good.
courting her,
Gordon, okay.
and she took me and introduced her mom and dad. Her dad was the most amazing man on earth.
Yeah.
I loved him to death. And he's just this quiet, fragile guy. And I'm over here I'm gonna show off. I'm gonna cook ribs.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, the first couple of racks of ribs I tried making ended up out in the front yard.
Ah,
Yeah, they didn't turn out so well.
right?
Poor dad and mom didn't know what to think of Charlie at the time.
Can you make Pop-Tarts, honey?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, can this guy boil water, make regular cheese? I've made up for it.
Yeah.
I've made up
That's
for
how
it.
you learn.
Exactly. But no, I love cooking. This past weekend, I cooked something. I smoked something. It was like 25 drumsticks, 25 chicken thighs. I'm
Wow, how
kind of famous for my.
Where do you live again?
I do homemade jalapeno, smoked jalapeno poppers.
Okay. So there's a smoked cheese, smoked
Yes.
cream cheese.
And yes, I did 6 cubes of smoked cream cheese this weekend.
Angela says extra
Nice.
smoked cream cheese.
Yeah, it's
Keep that lit.
it'll make your tongue slap your brains out.
Really, that good?
Yeah, it's
Make
good.
Your tongue
It's
slap your brains out.
That sounds
Yeah.
like an Alabama thing.
Yeah.
It is,
Well,
yeah.
someone just chimed in and said roll tide.
Pete
Pete
Bader, yes sir.
Just
Roll
as he said,
Tide.
roll tide. Just as he came up there. Tom Beatty says, let's have a Charlie versus Warren cook-off.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm up for it. I'm
He'd
good.
probably
That's,
beat me.
that's
Yeah.
fine. That's all
No,
right. That's all
I
good.
enjoy cooking. I love fishing. Fishing's my #1 hobby.
Yeah.
I ain't got to do it a lot this year with the schedule and everything. But I like build custom fishing rods on the side, and I fix everybody's fishing rods around here. You know, when they break an eyelet or break a tip top off. You know,
Right.
I enjoy that kind of
It's
relaxation.
your,
All right.
it's
It's
your
my
zen.
guild.
I call it
the zen,
Zen.
yeah,
stuff
the
like
zen,
that's
yeah.
mine.
That and cooking, both. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you know.
Dan Lynch, it's time for a refill, boys.
I just got one.
We just got one.
I got
All right, I'll get one.
I got
We're
some
good,
last
we're
one out of the bucket.
Well,
I'll put it in the fridge.
Yeah, you better go get one out.
I'll go to the fridge. I ain't scared.
So working at Joe Gibbs Racing.
What's happening over here?
He's gonna make noise again.
You know what now?
Working at Joe Gibbs Racing. How long
Yes.
you been there?
I've been there 2 stints.
Okay.
So I worked there from December of, and my wife's gonna be, oh yeah, he knows the exact date. And this and that.
Yeah.
I worked from December 2010 to the December of 2013.
Right.
They ended up shutting our deal down. I went to Roush from December 13 till December 16. Then I went back to Gibbs.
Okay.
And I've been there ever since.
All right.
And I'm going to retire there.
When
I'm gone from Joe Gibbs Racing, I'm done with racing.
Good for
At
you.
what point? What do you think makes them so good? What is it? What do you think their secret of success is?
They're a very family-oriented team. It's a huge company, over 400 something employees,
Yeah.
but they treat you like family. If you got a problem, you go talk to Coy, you can go talk to Coach,
Okay. And they'll listen.
and they'll listen
They
to
don't
you.
just pawn you off down the line.
No.
Okay.
And you know, even with JD, when JD was alive, it's like I met him one time when I first went to work
Right.
there in December 2010. And when I left in 2013, every time he came in the shop, he spoke to me and
Right.
knew my name.
Which is good.
And Coy's the same way when he comes around.
Which is
They're
important.
They're
They care about their people.
they care about the people that work for them. You're not a number. I've worked with other organizations that you were, pardon me, a number.
Right.
You were a tag.
Yeah.
You were dispensable.
Yeah.
Didn't care.
We've both been there.
Yes. Everybody. We've all
Yeah,
been
we've
there.
all
we've
been
all
here.
We've all
Yeah.
been there.
You worked
And
on
it's-
race team.
You said, yeah. You know, so it's, you know, it's an organization that when you get up in the morning,
Yeah.
you want to go to work.
That's good.
It's not like it's a job or it's like,
Chore.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You know, I mean, there's not many places in racing left like that.
No.
You know,
Well, that's good. It starts at the top and it carries down because, you know, you've been in charge. I ran a racetrack with you. And if you take the time to say hey to everybody, you just
Exactly.
check in.
Goes
You
a long
can't-
way.
Can't do it all the time. You thank
Exactly.
people, say thank you, thank you, thank you. Those 2 words and little gestures can mean so much. Whereas others just, you know, punch in, punch out, great. And you only hear from when you screw up, which I always believe is not the way to, you know, run. But
exactly.
you're gonna make your mistakes. We get that, but how do we avoid making that again?
Funny,
To me, is the success.
funny story with that. I've known Regan Smith since he was 10 years old. I worked for
Jeez.
his mom and dad when I first moved to North Carolina.
Yep.
And he's like my little brother. And I can't say I helped him, but I was a little part of him getting his Xfinity ride again
Okay.
Yep.
when we were there.
Yep. Yep.
And I told him when he got that ride that the #1 thing you could do in this sport is that you come to the shop at least 2 days a week. You walk around, you learn everybody's name.
Mhm.
You come to the shop and you speak to everybody. You say hi to them. You apologize to them if you kill a car. You know, you take your road guys out to eat dinner once or twice a month.
Yep.
And you help your shop guys out. that means more than anything
Right.
to people in racing.
And you'll
And
find
there's so many drivers. I've worked with so many drivers that you never see them. They never
Right.
come to the shop. They never appreciate what you do. But if you have a driver that comes to the shop, it makes a point to come to the front suspension room and speak to them, introduce themselves,
right.
talk to them. Go to the rear suspension room. Go to the shock room.
Yeah.
Go to the body shop.
And it means the
Go to
world.
the body hangers because they're the ones suffering.
They
Right.
go home. They go, hey,
Yeah.
honey, guess who stopped in today? Rita
Exactly.
stopped in.
Yeah.
And they
That-
like that. 'cause
It
they
goes
like
a
to know
long way.
Exactly.
It goes a
It
long
goes
way.
a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
In the
everyone
sport.
wants to meet the driver. Let's not
Exactly.
cut the crap. Every guy that works in that shop
They
wants
want to meet the driver, but they want to make sure that they feel appreciated
Appreciated
Which
for
was I was
what,
going
for
to.
what's
what they're
going on.
doing for
That's,
the
that's what I was
driver.
going the whole thing.
And there's not a lot of that these days.
Chris
You know.
Letourneau says, tell the old man not to be late in the morning.
Yeah, pot calling the kettle.
yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, aren't you getting a new there to be giving orders?
Yeah. Little Dave.
There you go. Excuse me. All right, what's good to know about Gibbs? I don't want to say regrets, but if there's one thing you could have done differently, what would it have been?
Say it again.
If there's one thing in your career you could have done differently. Because you went from high school to racing.
And not
No, actually, I raced all the way through high school.
Okay,
Right.
but you
Yeah.
graduated,
not
you went to college.
maybe in your racing career.
In your racing.
So
What would I have done?
you know, I always say
Yeah.
it like this, Charlie. I came down here to be a mechanic. I ended up being a fabricator. Now I'm an aero. I'm an aero. I'm
Now
an
he's the
aerodynamicist.
bomb.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like that was not my intentions at all. I kind of wanted to be a car chief or a crew chief.
Yeah.
That was my intentions to go down that path. So did you follow your? Are you where you wanted to? Is this what you expected?
Yeah, I think it is. I always thought growing up that when I worked for my grandfather and worked on his cars all week, and we went to the racetrack, and we had to do pit stops, and I got to change tires,
Right.
and I got to see him win. Not only win, but run good. I knew that I had part of that. That made me feel good inside to know that, hey, I built that car.
Yeah.
We finished, nothing fell off. We did the best of our ability.
So
And that's always been my motto through my career is that, I want to do everything to the best of my ability.
yeah.
And I became a car chief and changed tires. So now I'm at a point in my career. When I started a couple years ago, I told him, I said, listen, I said, I don't have to be car chief, but I want to help people become what they want to be in racing. So I had Chris Sherwood.
Yes.
I remember Chris.
I
hired him again as a tire guy.
Yep, I know Chris. I know him from DEI.
We hired
yeah.
Seabell. We had Jason Ratcliffe, and Jason's like, "Hey, I want to bring this kid Chris Sherwood in to be a car chief." I said, "It's perfect." I said, "I'll train him."
So he
So
went under your wing.
He went under my wing, and I trained him, and he moved to the Cup Series.
Yeah.
And I went and told Steve, I said, I enjoy doing this. I don't have to be a car chief.
Mentor.
I want to help people live out their dreams. I've done everything that I want to do. I want to help people that want to be here live out their dreams.
Right.
So then we had JP Egbert. Had him for the last 2 years as a car chief. Trained him. Now he's up at the Cup shop. So that's the part that gives me satisfaction.
Now.
Now that I can say, hey, you know what? I helped him to get where he's at.
Right.
And
I
I've been there, done it.
I can relate to that a lot because me being a fab guy and every place I've worked I've helped the younger guys
Exactly.
move along.
Because back in the day, when racing was over, we worked in the body shop.
Right.
On the speedway car, we sanded, we bonded. You had to do everything.
Everything.
And then everything, back in our generation, you had to do everything on a car. Now, and as the years moved on, it became more
Right.
specific per corner, I guess you could say, or specific
Yeah.
department.
Department.
What do you do?
More
What do you do?
Specialized.
Yeah, what do you do?
Panels.
I build tie rods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all. Can you weld? No.
So you're,
What do you do? I put
read
I
press
put oil
release.
tanks. You put oil tanks in.
Yeah.
Right.
Can
And
you
what
put a
else?
gear in?
What?
No.
No.
Okay.
No. Oh, there's a guy that puts fuel cells in. He's back over there. It's like,
Yeah.
You know, and
And then there's I pick things up and put
them
things
down. That's the big cool. That's the There
we go again.
We're not even going there. We're not getting started on that.
All right.
I'll be beat up by picture guys. This is why.
Exactly.
So you're saying your satisfaction now is your old age of 48. Should we laugh now or later? You think with your mark you're leaving is that you're mentoring, you're teaching people, passing on your knowledge. That
They
they're
call me Dad. My nickname now is Dad.
so we'd be like Gramps.
I don't get Gramps all the time. I get,
I get Dad. Like if somebody came to us and said, Dad, can you come? Yeah, Dad will get it.
Okay, that's good. That's
You
good.
know? So it's kind of like and I came through the mentorship of Pete Wright.
yeah,
You know Pete.
absolutely.
Pete was my
great guy.
Pete was my roommate for 10 years, all through MB2, Ginn,
And then-
DEI.
and
He's like my
and
father.
Red Bull even,
Yeah,
right?
Red
Yeah.
Bull. He was like my father, you know, and he taught me not quite as much as our grandpa did, but he's right there.
Good.
We still talk all the time,
Good deal.
you know, and he's like,
Great guy.
so me being able to learn from him, from everything that he learned through all the years of racing, I appreciated what he did.
yeah.
So now I enjoy teaching and mentoring kids that come up through.
Right.
It's good. You're passing down.
Kind of
the
feel
sport.
like it's your turn to do it.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. I'm not gonna be forever. I've been up top of the hill. I'm riding the sled down. I just hope I don't run out of ice. You know, so I can hang on to that thing. You know, hit the next corner.
All right. Well, you know what? That was kind of like it was my final question, but you just kind of answered. Do you have anything else before we say goodnight? You good?
I think I'm good.
It's good. Hey,
It's really good.
I'm honored to have you on. I know I just met you yesterday. I walked in.
Hey,
I
we'll
said-
do it again.
I said,
Tell them
hey,
what happened here.
What?
Tell our audience.
All right. So Warren says, "Hey, we don't have a guest from. We had to move him to next week." I said, "I'm nuts." So I got done doing the How I Got Here podcast on Speed Sport that I do. Go check it out. And I'm like, I go, we don't have anybody. I go, I know what to do. So I go over to Micaiah's, and there's like 7, 8 of these
Local
guys.
gym,
A local area
watering hole.
where they have, what do you call
Yeah.
it, safety meetings? What do
Yeah,
you call
that's
it?
safety meetings.
Safety
yeah.
meetings. Yeah.
Safety never takes a day off.
Exactly. So
Just
they-
remember that.
They're in there having a safety meeting, and I walk in, and Chris Latour, I go, "Hey, you want to be?" He goes, "No, let him be." And I go, "All right, which one of you guys wants to be pub table racers?" You go, "Oh, you're pub table racers." I go, "You're on."
Yeah.
Let down, talk to them. That's it. So,
Yeah.
appreciate it. Don't forget our sponsors. Oh my gosh, we forgot. Because the peanut guy was chirping in there. RacingJunk.com. Check out the Garage Shop, the YouTube channel. A lot of great stuff going on there. And of course, our number one guy, Rapid Removal, Darren Russell. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Yep.
Look him up. He'll move.
Best dump box
Yeah,
in Mooresville.
That's it. There you go. Nice,
Dump
you
box.
changed it.
Do you like
So
it?
sorry about that, Dan. We know you won. Appreciate it. Hey, thank you so much, Charlie. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Charlie.
Hey, we'll do it again.
Thanks
You
for
got it.
We
coming.
ain't even done a cooking episode yet.
We did.
Maybe
Oh,
we'll do like a
that
cooking
might-
There we
episode.
that
go.
might
Let's
be-
do it.
That might be an off-season
Cookies with
thing.
Charlie and
That,
Warren.
that would be an off-season.
Exactly.
I'll show it my Salem hot dog.
Yeah.
It's a
Salem's hot dog.
You know-
We don't cook hot dogs.
Okay, I'm just telling. That's where my.
Yeah, that's a Yankee damn.
No, we're
It is
gonna.
a damn good
We'll
one.
cook hot dog if we find road.
Oh yeah, roadkill. Oh, never mind. People be showing me, "Hey, you guys cook this?" All right, so
we'll
then
cook it all.
have a good week. May your team win this week or whatever. Have a safe
Hey,
one. Stay safe. Say
Roll
goodnight,
Tide.
Dick.
The Gators are going down.
Like I said, say goodnight, Dick.
Good night, Dick.
Good night, Dick. See ya. Thank you, everybody.
The Gators.
Wow. Hey, another great show.
Great
Thank you
show.
so much, everybody,
Yep.
for tuning
Enjoyed
in.
it.
We appreciate it. We do this every Tuesday night, and Warren, I think the guests we've had have been fantastic.
Phenomenal.
And the people that are following us, we appreciate it. We're reaching 42,000 people a month. Can you believe that? And we appreciate you watching. And
Right. We're having fun. Hope everybody else enjoys it.
that's it. And it's just a fun show. Bucket of beer, guys sitting around talking about it. So keep tuning in. We appreciate it. Check out our store and everything. But we appreciate you people, and we will see you next week, right, my friend?
Yes, sir.
All right. See you next week.